So next up, we're incredibly lucky to have Ellen Sussman, who is the author of the best-selling novel French Lessons, and also On a Night Like This. Is that right? And she's edited 2 anthologies. Dirty Words, a literary encyclopedia of sex, and Bad Girls, 26 writers misbehave. She spent a lot of time in Europe. She actually was ambassador to like a dozen different small countries over the years, and you know, the little kinds of those teeny little countries that are kind of squozen in between, like, you know, Italy and Greece or whatever, or, you know, all the little Eastern European countries that split off from each other, and like, you know, they had some kind of little disagreement over which kind of little sausage was going to be the national snack, and so they split into multiple little countries, and like, she was just always being sent off to be ambassador to a new country, and she was really good because these little countries, she could go and kind of make them feel really secure about themselves, and like, you know, she really accepted them for what they were. She didn't try to put pressure on them to be big countries. She just kind of like, she was very sweet and kind of, you know, welcoming to them and welcomed them into the United Nations and the community of countries and everything. And unfortunately, it backfired horribly because she was so accepting and so kind of so nurturing towards these tiny little countries that they felt like they just didn't need to keep trying so hard and they could just let go. And she's single-handedly responsible for, like, I think 10 countries ceasing to exist because they were just like, okay, fine, we're just going to become a theme park, or we're going to become a ski resort instead, or we're just going to go back into being some other country. And she just, you know, they no longer felt like they needed to prove anything because she just kind of made them feel happy to be who they were and stuff. And in fact, you know, she was really, heads of state loved her. Heads of state felt like they could really relate to her, and she would just help them to actualize themselves without having to be so head of state about it. And in fact, now she's got like a dozen former prime ministers and stuff living in her basement. A few dictators too. They all moved in with her, and like, they're all like, they pay rent. It's not like they're freeloading. They pay rent because they're all working as like interior decorators, because, you know, former dictators, heads of state, they know drapes. There's one thing that like a dictator knows is drapes. They really understand. And like, so, you know, it works out, but it's a little crowded. And sometimes she just wishes that they could like go, you know, be a head of state again or something. But anyway, so she got into trouble, and like, they called her into the office and they were like, okay, you're fucking up. You can't actually be the ambassador to a country and then cause that country to cease to exist. It looks bad. And, you know, the UN is shrinking, and the bathroom attendant at the UN is pissed, and the State Department, we're all pissed. And, like, you know, you're not supposed to do that. That's really, really lame, and you've got to fix that. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but anyway, you've got to fix that. And, you know, you're out of a job. And so she was like, fine, okay, what can I do to fix this? And finally, so she wrote some self-help books about how to start your own country. And like, you know, that were like really encouraging and really like, yeah, you can do it, come on, secede, it's really easy, like form your own little nation state, it's awesome. And over time she kind of realized that these books, they sold millions of copies, but most people reading these books were never actually going to start their own countries because it was just aspirational, they just fantasized. And like, in fact, these books were sort of like erotica because, like, you know, with, you know, instead of the money shot, there was like printing your own currency. That was sort of the money shot in these books. And, you know, but so she became fabulously wealthy from all these books, but she kind of had to give up on being an ambassador. But she has like a group of dignitaries who follow her around, and you've probably seen them. They all have amazing sashes. They're out here in the audience. Please welcome the incredible